In the rugged mountains of eastern Afghanistan, a young Taliban fighter named Ahmad Khan fought alongside his comrades against the encroaching forces of the United States Army. Ahmad was not a man driven by hatred, but by a deep sense of duty to protect his homeland from what he saw as foreign invaders. His faith in Allah was unshakable, and he believed that his struggle was a righteous one. One fateful night, during a covert mission to sabotage a U.S. supply route, Ahmad's unit was ambushed. Outnumbered and outgunned, they fought valiantly, but Ahmad was captured. His comrades were either killed or scattered, and he was taken to a high-security detention facility in Bagram, Afghanistan. The Bagram prison was a place of despair. Ahmad was subjected to harsh interrogations, sleep deprivation, and isolation. Yet through it all, he clung to his faith. He recited the Quran in his cell, finding solace in its verses. His captors tried to break him, but Ahmad's resolve only grew stronger. One day, he overheard two guards discussing a planned transfer of prisoners to a facility in Guantanamo Bay. Ahmad knew that if he was sent there, he might never see his homeland again. He began to pray fervently, asking Allah for a way out. Ahmad's opportunity came unexpectedly. A power outage caused by a storm disrupted the prison's security systems. In the chaos, Ahmad managed to overpower a guard and steal his keys. Moving swiftly and silently, he navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the prison, avoiding patrols and cameras. As he approached the outer fence, he was spotted. A firefight erupted, and Ahmad was hit in the shoulder. Ignoring the pain, he scaled the fence and disappeared into the night. The storm masked his escape, and by the time the alarm was raised, Ahmad was already miles away. Ahmad's journey back to his village was fraught with danger. He traveled mostly at night, avoiding roads and populated areas. His wound became infected, and he grew weak, but he pressed on, driven by the thought of reuniting with his family. Along the way, he encountered other fugitives, men and women displaced by the war. Some were Taliban sympathizers, while others were simply civilians caught in the crossfire. Ahmad shared his meager supplies with them and offered words of encouragement, reminding them of the importance of faith and unity. One night, as Ahmad rested in a cave, he was approached by an elderly man named Haji Gul. The old man had lost his entire family to a U.S. drone strike and had been living in the mountains ever since. Haji Gul tended to Ahmad's wound and shared his food. Before they parted ways, he gave Ahmad a small Quran and said, "Allah is with those who are patient." After weeks of grueling travel, Ahmad finally reached his village. But what he found broke his heart. The village had been destroyed in a U.S. airstrike, and his family was gone. Overwhelmed by grief, Ahmad fell to his knees and wept. Yet even in his darkest moment, he found strength in his faith. He buried his loved ones and vowed to honor their memory by continuing the struggle. Ahmad began to rebuild his life, but he could not forget the suffering he had witnessed. He traveled from village to village, sharing his story and calling for unity among Muslims. He spoke of the need to resist foreign occupation, not through hatred, but through faith and solidarity. Ahmad's message resonated with many. He became a symbol of resilience and hope, and his followers grew in number. He established a network of resistance fighters, but unlike the Taliban of old, his movement was not driven by vengeance. Instead, it sought to unite Muslims from all over the world against what they saw as a common enemy. Ahmad's movement gained momentum, attracting fighters from Pakistan, Chechnya, and even distant lands like Indonesia and Nigeria. They were united not by nationality or ethnicity, but by their shared faith and desire for justice. The U.S. military, alarmed by the growing threat, launched a massive operation to eliminate Ahmad and his followers. In a remote valley, Ahmad's forces were surrounded. Outnumbered and outgunned, they prepared for what seemed like their final stand. As the battle raged, Ahmad stood atop a hill, holding the Quran Haji Gul had given him. He prayed for strength and guidance. Miraculously, a sandstorm swept through the valley, blinding the U.S. forces and allowing Ahmad's men to escape. The victory was seen as a sign from Allah, and Ahmad's legend grew. His movement became a global phenomenon, inspiring Muslims everywhere to stand up against oppression. Ahmad Khan's story did not end with his death. He was martyred in a skirmish years later, but his legacy lived on. His movement continued to grow, uniting Muslims across the world in a shared struggle for justice and dignity.